their interests, as we said, is just this iconic image of the Attitude Era. And in early February of 99, Edge and Christian team up to take on the Hardy Boys for the very first time.
Hmm.
It happened, believe it or not, on Shotgun Saturday night. I bring this up because this is a night where Raw was being held at the Sky Dome in front of 41,432 people. So think about all the history in that sentence. We've talked about how these guys attended WrestleMania 6. So they're there in the crowd for this
They're
special moment and their
just
fans.
fans, simply
Yes.
fans.
And then they come back and they wrestle a Monday Night Raw, well, the largest in history, 41,432 people. And they're going to tag team together. The two guys who went to that show to see their favorites together now are going to be tagging together
Pretty
against the
cool.
Hardy Boys for the first time. It's really unbelievable when you think about it.
Pretty cool. And it gave me a great house show match. Anytime you could book those two teams, and then later the Dudleys, you had money, and
Yes.
you had a great. If you said to those guys, "Hey, look, we need 30 minutes tonight," they wouldn't say one word. None of them. They'd probably look at it as just a bigger opportunity, and with more time to expose their skill set. But the Hardys and Edge and Christian had such amazing natural chemistry. It's almost like they, and this is going to be eye roller, I guess. They knew what they were going to do before they did it.
Yes.
Smooth, logical. And then when I put the Dudleys in those live events with them, you had to be careful on that deal because you sure as hell can't have a ladder match every night unless you want to kill your guys. But you can have three ways. You just don't have the gimmick, the stip. So yeah, they had great chemistry, and they kept learning, Conrad. They kept learning and maturing, and they could go out and lead a match as the heels as easy as anybody on the roster. They were students of the game. They were lifelong fans, and they learned something everywhere along the way.
What did you think of the bloodbath? That was a big part of the Brood presentation. It's
Yeah,
something that we didn't see a lot in wrestling before that. The down from the ceiling, here it comes. You get this, I don't know, food coloring combination, but all of a sudden people are just drenched in quote unquote blood.
yeah.
I'm really surprised with everything they put you through. You never got a bloodbath.
Well,
What
thanks,
do you think?
Connie. You evil bastard.
There's still time. There's still time, Tony
No,
Khan.
there ain't. No, there ain't still time.
What do you think?
I was mixed on that. It got the surprise, aghast pop from me because I wasn't sure how it was going to play out. I don't recall them rehearsing it.
Right.
Maybe they did. I don't know, but I don't recall that happening. So the shock of it and the reaction of the fans was spot on. But I just thought, well, this will work once, and it needs to be at special times with special people, special place, all that good shit. But this will work once, really good. It might work twice if it's good timed appropriately, but it's not something you're going to see every week. That was my take on it.
Eventually, the Brood is absorbed by the Ministry of Darkness, and they're going to essentially become minions for the Undertaker. One of their most memorable moments, a part of the Ministry of Darkness, is after the Undertaker defeats the Big Boss Man at the Hell in a Cell in WrestleMania 15. They're going to hang the Big Boss Man and pull him to the roof of the building there in Philadelphia. Quite the debut for these cats here at WrestleMania, and
Yeah.
Christian eventually becomes the catalyst of the whole Stephanie McMahon kidnapping angle, where he's going to admit to her location after Ken Shamrock has him locked in an ankle lock. He gets kicked out of the Ministry of Darkness, and I don't know, man. I kind of liked the Brood on their own more than I did them being a part of the Ministry of Darkness.
Yep.
I understand the association.
Watered it down.
Yes.
And there's
Yes.
only so many at bats you're going to get,
Yeah.
and you're wasting them. And they're sort of being featured. Edge and Christian are a part of an ensemble, And this ain't like Friends or Seinfeld. Uh, it's an ensemble cast, and so who stars in an ensemble cast? That's why they have the successes on television history, where uh, a character on a television show spins out to their own show. That's always going to be the goal. And it's very seldom do you see a cast stay together like the cast of what's that show I just said? Shit. I get off on these fucking tangents and then I lose my train of thought. But anyway, uh, Friends. Is that what it is? Yeah, Friends. So anyhow, there's that. I still haven't thought what the cowboy told me, but I will. Tourette's boy's on his way.
Well, speaking of friends, Michael Hayes is going to position himself as a friend and manager of sorts, a mentor to the Hardys. And this allows them to have a 6-man feud with the Brood. So it would be Edge, Christian, and Gangrel.
Right.
And I think when people think back on this presentation, they think, oh man, they put Michael Hayes out there. He's so old. He was 40.
Yeah.
He's not old, but the Hardy Boys are super young. What do you think of Michael Hayes' last run here, if you will, doing some 6-mans with the Brood?
I love the fact that Michael had the opportunity to be a tutor, to be a
Yes.
coach. Because guys like the Hardys, especially, and there were others that I could name. Sometimes, if they had a negative, it was the fact that they may have worked a little too fast. Let me register what you're doing, because what you're doing is sensational. But if I can't sell it myself, if I can't have the time to process it, then it's not going to be nearly as effective. So I thought Michael had a lot of great qualities in that regard. He helped those guys' career immensely because he kept pitching for them. Michael's also involved in creative,
Yep.
so he kept pitching for them. So their front of mind awareness, they meaning pronoun boy, was it was just, I'm trying to think of the best word, but I can't. Anyway, there you go. That's what happens. That's what
Well, I'll tell you
happens.
what's fun to think about the timing of what we're about to talk about here.
Yeah.
Survivor Series this past weekend was at the old Rosemont Horizon. These days, I think it's called the Allstate Arena, but it was the home of WrestleMania 13 and so many iconic moments and
Yeah.
matches through wrestling history. But Edge and Christian would team up in the Rosemont Horizon to take on Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, and what actually would wind up being Owen's last match before the tragic accident.
Wow.
So a little piece of trivia there. Christian was involved in Owen's last match. King of the Ring 99, Gangrel is going to cost Edge and Christian their number one contenders match against the Hardys for the tag straps. And now we're starting to break up the Brood. As we said, maybe there's a little bit more juice in that. But watching Edge and Christian take on the Hardy Boys, this felt like something that was ahead of its time.
It was Briscoes and Funks. It was chemistry personified. It was 4 guys that had comparable styles, that were unselfish and willing to do whatever was best for the betterment of the match. They were unselfish. Both teams took a ton of bumps, showing that hey, I'm here to get this thing over. So yeah, man, it was that was magic. I don't know. Hey, look, some people are going to roll their eyes about the Briscoe Funk reference, but I mean to say it was great timing.
Yes.
It was a great chemistry.
Yes.
And yeah, those are some good tag team times. Say that 3 times.